This is a Symbolista Tarot pick a card reading, and these are the cards you get to pick from for your reading. So you pick, I'll read, and let's go. All right, pile one. What does pile one need to release? Pile one, you're definitely stuck in this woe is me situation. You're constantly having this battle with yourself. Do I keep on being the me that I've always been, which is safe and secure, and everybody knows me as this person? And everybody likes me as this person, even though I'm miserable as this person? Or do I shift and move into the me that I've always wanted to be? Do I move into this other aspect of myself that I know to be very similar to the me that I've always been, right? She's the same person wearing white, but she's miserable. And it's going very well for her, at least from in the physical, how I relate to other people, how other people see me. It goes fairly well, but you're miserable. There's this other aspect of you, which is closer to who you really are, that is not quote unquote perfect. This is almost like an illusion that is fairly close to who you really are, but it's not 100% authentic. There's another aspect of you that is very close to that illusion, but it is the authentic one. But she's not perfect, right? There's stains here on this dress. She's not this cookie cutter, or he or whoever's watching this, but in the representation of these cards, this person is not the quote unquote perfect child, because I do feel this goes all the way back to you've become the version of you've become the version that your parents or your peers or the people you look up to, who they're proud of. And this more authentic version, who's not constantly looking back and double checking, am I doing things right? Am I okay? Does everybody approve of me? This person is bold, and this person is confident in themselves. But this person is not perfect. They have flaws, and they don't care if they have flaws. You're being called to go out on this journey of release that will be more prosperous than this other illusion based. But this one is, how do I say this? This one is going to have to go through a period of distancing yourself from the group of people you've looked up to your whole life, because I feel like this goes all the way back. You're going to have to distance yourself emotional at least emotionally. You're going to have to distance yourself, but it will bring you closer to who you really are. And sooner or later, you will gain the same amount of respect as you had previously, but it might take a little time. And during that time that it takes for people to adapt, you have to isolate yourself. And this doesn't mean like you don't see them anymore, you don't talk to them anymore, but you have to mentally and emotionally distance yourself where those things, those harsh comments will not affect you because you know what you're really going after, which is authenticity. And you're going to feel more complete with yourself. You're going to feel whole with yourself. It really is. This is the perfect card, I think, to describe what it is you're going to have to do. Instead of being back to back with each other, well, do I pick this one? Do I stay in this one, constantly looking over my shoulder? Or do I go straight forward? And notice the parallels between these two cards. One of them is looking over the shoulder, and this other one is mourning the death of this old self, right? Mourning the death of its old self. And this is the one that has the blood on their garments. And this is the authentic one has the blood on their garments. But in this one, it's the one looking over your shoulder that's the one dying. And the one that makes it out has the remnants, but they're confident in themselves. You shed a tear for that old version, right? But you look face forward. You're going towards the future. And this is going to make you unbelievably powerful. Unbelievably powerful. Because it's almost like you have this weapon now that does not allow you, through your isolation period, you learn how to battle anything that comes your way like it's nothing. It does not affect you. But what do you have to release? What do you have to let go of? This person. This person who is not you. Similar, but is not you. This is somebody else. Let that person go. Let that part of yourself go. You're going to be a lot happier. You're going to be a lot closer to who you really are. And it's going to be unbelievably fruitful and prosperous. Another thing that you need to release is others' opinions of you. It affects you so much, but not in the positive. Because you're constantly terrified, never looking into the camera. You're always looking off in some other direction. Let that person go. Face life facing forward. You have to let go of other people's opinions of yourself. Because until you do, you will not reach this prosperous, you won't be living. I mean, it's unbelievably cold, these atmospheres that you've been living in. They're cloudy and they're rigid. They're inauthentic, and you can't grow from that point. This is about growth. You have to realize that there is more worth in the person that you wish to become than the person you have been all this time, despite the fact that everybody else tells you, oh, you're on the right path. Oh, you're doing so well. Oh, I'm so proud of them. Oh, yeah, they're my favorite child. Or they're the only child that's doing well. Or look at how good of grades they got. And but look at everything that you had to sacrifice, which is yourself. You've been sacrificing yourself this entire time in order to meet this how do I say this? In order to meet these high expectations and standards that never aligned with your expectations and standards. And so you have to analyze, why is it that I'm constantly striving for other people's approval instead of my own approval? And I think that's the big shift. It's whose approval am I actually searching for and seeking to attain constantly, and can I grow from that? Because notice the only green, the only growing part here is what she has on her that's coming from her mind, right? And she's suffering, but it's coming from her mind. Nothing else here, everything else here is dead. Everything else here is dead because nothing can grow in this environment, right? Nothing can grow in this environment. This is lush. This is growth, right? They're covered in green. The only time that you can grow is when you're thinking of being this other person. So the solution would be just be that other person, and you can grow from there. This is way more admirable than pretending to be somebody that you're not in order to make other people proud. Make yourself proud, and others will be proud of you. Let that go. Say goodbye. Have a little funeral for your past self. Cry your tears. Mourn, because it's going to be a little difficult, but then move on. Okay? Best of luck. All right, pile 2. Let's see. What do you have to release? I have to say right off the bat, pile 2 has the most amount of cards. Pile 2, you have 4 from this deck, 4 from this deck. And looking here, I thought this was interesting. You have 1 of each element when it comes to this deck on top. You have pentacles, you have wands, you have cups, you have swords. Very interesting. All right, let's see. What do you have to release here? You are way too harsh on other people. And I'm going to say I hate to be blunt, but I really don't. It's just the truth. You are way too harsh on other people, and you have an issue with giving off this holier than thou, self-righteous, condescending energy. It's all about like, I'm this perfect person and I'm super in tune with everything, and I'm going to save the world. I'm going to save the planet. And really all it's doing is you're isolating yourself from the community. You're isolating yourself from everybody else, and you're creating chaos where there needs to be none. And this is not from this doesn't stem from oh, I'm actually right, I'm on the money on this. This stems from emotional immaturity. This stems from emotional immaturity, and it's almost like you want to be the first to the bit. Like maybe it's you're fighting with your family, or you're fighting with, people online, but it's almost like you're giving off, it's not you're giving off this energy. It's you are actively, it's like you want to be first to the bit, right? You want to be the first person, say like, I'm the one that I was courageous enough that I stepped forward. And I'm getting a lot of vegan vibes, and sorry if you're a vegan and you're not, this isn't what you're putting out and you're watching this for somebody else. This isn't all vegans, but definitely that's the go-to stereotype, right? Like the vegan Karen. But it is a lot of this, like, I'm gonna be the one to fight the fight. I'm gonna be the one to take upon this sword and take this this fight. I'm gonna take it upon myself to cure the world of all these evils. And it's like, yeah, that's a great ambition, but it's not coming from a place of emotional stability, right? This person, they have one leg, only one leg is they're not grounded, right? They're in this flamingo pose. You need to ground yourself emotionally. You're way too emotional about things. It's almost like you think that the whole world is in your cup, right? And the more emotional you get, you're going to be able to solve this problem. When really, you're just going to be drowning with everybody else who has the same kind of energy. And even the people who you consider your peers who are also fighting this great fight, it gives off the same energy. Like you're all competing to be the one that can solve all of the world's problems. And really, you're all just drowning underwater trying to find this mythical sword that's going to cure the world of everything. It is unbelievably dangerous because you're not coming from a place of stability. She doesn't have two legs in the water, right? She's not the king or the queen, she's the page. She's the young one. She's not the knight even, right? Who is the one that takes off the sword? No, she's the page of cups. Emotionally immature. Not a good place to start any trouble from. Also, you shouldn't be starting trouble anyways. It's misguided. And it's just going to leave you alone. Like it's going to make you unbelievably lonely. Unbelievably lonely. Because no one wants to hang around people who are condescending and constantly telling everybody how great they are and that there's something wrong with you. Oh, you should be doing it this way. Oh, you don't recycle. Oh, you eat meat. Oh, you do this. Oh, you do that. Oh, you like this or you don't like. It's like you're not going to win anybody over to your crusade. You're not going to win anybody over to your side or want to fight alongside you, especially if, unbeknownst to you, they might be seeing through your bullshit. They might be seeing through it because emotionally stable people don't go around calling other people names, right? To try and win them over. It never works. You're not going to shame anybody into quote unquote doing the right thing. That's not how you get from point A to point B. It's going to make you isolated, which is funny how you go from this card of isolation where she's almost caught in between two worlds and she's turning her back on what is fruitful, right? With the waters and the forest behind her. She's turning her back from that and she's looking off in the distance to the moonlight, right? The moon card is also a card of illusions. You don't really see clearly in moonlight. You think you can see really well until the sun comes up. And then you're like, oh, shit, maybe a lot of that was just shadows. And I was getting it wrong. But from this energy, oh, both of them are the Four of Pentacles. Interesting. From this energy of I'm better than everybody else, you're not going to be able to see clearly. And then charge that vision with the emotional clarity because they go hand in hand. You're looking off into an illusion, but turning your back into what's concrete. But then everything you see, even if you were to turn your back on what's concrete, you're seeing it through moonlight. You're not seeing it in daylight. What you need to release, you need to release this rigid, emotionally charged vision that you have of the world and of yourself. And it's not to say that, oh, now you need to tell yourself that you're a piece of shit. I'm not saying that. Maybe you are this wonderful person, right? But you're giving off the emotion that you're giving off this feeling, this vibe that it's not that you're a great person, that you're better than, that you think you're better than everybody else. And genuinely great people don't give off that vibe. You need to go into hermit mode and truly analyze everything. You've been seeing everything through like this hazy light, and you need to be as blunt as possible and see things with the light of the people you've been fighting with. So, for example, if you are, let's say you're a real big, uh, let's take the opposite. Let's say you're a real big meat eater, hunter kind of thing, and you just don't understand vegetarians and vegans, right? Try and see the world through their lens, right? Try and see, wait a minute, why would a vegan take on this lifestyle? Oh, okay. I still don't agree with it, but I could understand why they would, right? And whether this be social, political, environmental, every single aspect of your life. And what I would do is I would make a list of all the things that I believe 100% and all the things that I hate in other people. And then I would analyze those things one by one. Why do I believe this so clearly? Okay, all the people who hate or who are on the other side, that sometimes we're just like, oh no, they hate. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just disagree with you. And you're putting this, oh, they hate me kind of thing on, or they hate everybody like me, or they're terrible people. It's like everybody does this to some degree, and we need to analyze this, right? So shine that same light and try and see things genuinely from their perspective, right? Genuinely from their perspective, not, well, okay, so they believe, okay, well, this is crazy. This is what they believe. No, no, no. Seriously, ask them clearly and concisely. Or I'm sure there's a YouTube video about everything, right? Try and put yourselves not just in their shoes, but in their mind. What is it that they believe? And shine that light. And in that list of all the things that you love, look at the opposite and go, okay, I have to see things from this perspective, right? So if you're super big on recycling, try and see it from the perspective of someone who thinks recycling is bullshit, for example, right? Try and see things from their perspective. And a lot of times we'll confuse things where we'll go, okay, so the opposite is people who hate recycling and think recycling is bullshit. Okay, that's one thing to look at. But another one to look at also is people who just are pointing out what doesn't work, and they've been labeled as, they've been, the world loves labeling shit, right? So they've been labeled as people who hate the environment. Whenever you see things that are that charged, you got to go, okay, wait a minute. Is this really what they believe? And sometimes, yeah, maybe it is, but probably not, right? Take the example of Nazis, for example, right? This day and age, everybody's labeled as a Nazi, but are they actual Nazis? Probably not. You know, they don't have swastikas tattoos. Now, are there some people? Yeah. Mostly in prison. Yeah, there's a lot of people. And I would look into that as well, just to find out, like, what are these people? Why? Like, seriously, why? After all these years, they're still stuck on that ideology that has been proven to be unbelievably disastrous. Why? Well, figure it out. See. Go see why. But it will give you a grander perspective, so that when people are, say, coming at you and saying, well, you just think you're better than everybody else, you can go, wait a minute, I looked at that side. And I know this is what you believe. Okay, explain to me further. Okay, well, I don't agree, and these are the reasons why. And you can do so calmly. You're not just labeling and throwing insults at people, but you can argue from a standpoint, from a mature standpoint. And don't be as emotional. Distance yourself emotionally from these things. Just analyze it as if you are analyzing a book report, right? Just as if you were grading a paper, right? Okay, does this essay make sense? Okay, I see the point that they're trying to make. Is it a valid argument? Okay, well, this works. I still don't agree with any of it, but I understand the point that they're trying to make, right? From a non-emotional standpoint. And from being unemotionally charged, you will then become more emotionally grounded. Because it's like you're wasting all of your emotions on these things, and then you'll just be exhausted, drained, and alone. And it's like, that sucks. That's a terrible place to be in, right? It's like this world that used to be so populated and full, all of a sudden it's just you alone in this ghost town. But what you have to let go of is this idea of this hierophant, right? Like this tyrant who is saying, no, this is the truth, this is the only truth, and there's no room for discussion. You either believe with me or Spanish Inquisition. And it's like, again, you're not going to gain anybody else into your club. Even if you think they're in your club, chances are one tiny little thing and they're also going to kick you out because you're not on the same page as them. It's like, just take the time to analyze why you believe what you believe. Like, truly get as deep, deep, deep down to the core. And chances are, as most of the beliefs that we hold, whatever they may be, tend to boil down to, I believe this because this will get me loved. Because I believe I will be happier if I have this, or if I believe this, or if I think this, or others will like me more, and it's an interesting line of discussion to have with yourself. And again, you do this in private. You don't do this out with, in a crowded space. You do this with yourself. You take some time and you try and shift to see things from from a different angle. Because we think that we're living in this fruitful environment, pile number 2, but really we're isolated and we're alone. We're not growing from this state. We're all by ourselves. Yeah. And I'm not calling you a hypocrite, but the cards are. So let's get that under control. I hope this wasn't like too harsh that you'll never come back to do another reading. But whether or not you do come back, this will make you happier. Even if you do keep all the same beliefs, you'll come at it from a different perspective. You'll come at it from a different angle. And you'll start to bring people over to your side. And maybe you will change your beliefs, maybe you won't. But you will be happier and healthier for it. And I honestly, whether or not you hate me or not after this reading, I wish you the very, very best. And honestly, if you got this far after the harshness of your reading, I am unbelievably proud of you, because that's not an easy thing to hear. And I'm unbelievably proud of you. So good luck with this. Go into hermit mode and just open your eyes to as many different perspectives as possible. The good, the bad, the ugly, the disgusting, but try and see the world from as many different perspectives as possible. Doesn't mean you take them on, but you just see what else is out there and you distance yourself away from the Hierophant and you become the Hermit. Okay. Good luck with this one, pile number 2. I believe in you. I believe in you. You, not so much, but you, I believe in you. Go do it. Because this, you don't deserve this. Right? Go for it. All right. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. What do you have to release? Let's see. I will say you have the fewest amount of cards in this pile compared to the other 2 readings. I don't really know how that's relevant yet, but I think it is relevant. Yeah, I think it's just one thing, one big thing that is just holding you back from everything you desire. Holding you back from everything you desire is this one thing. And it's not a lack of confidence, it's a lack of belief in yourself. It's a complete and total lack of belief in yourself. You refuse to see the good things about you and the good things in life. I mean, this is beyond Debbie Downer. This is some other shit. I mean, wow. You gotta cut the crap. What do you need to release? This a bullshit illusion that you have concocted. That you are not good enough. Bullshit. Are you different? 100%. You're weird. I'll tell you that right off the bat. You are a weird cookie. Do you belong in this world? Absolutely. The world needs some weird shit, right? But you're a weird one. And that is a good thing. You have to find the good in the weirdness. You have to. This isn't like you should. No, it's a necessity, because otherwise you will drown in these waters. You will drown in these waters, just burning to get to that. You know, the wands, and especially the Ace of Wands. Wands are this spark, this desire, this spark of life that then will, from that, it will snowball and manifest itself into reality. And it's like you can't manifest anything because you will not allow yourself, even though you constantly say, oh, I want this so badly. It's like, nah, you don't. You don't, because if you wanted it badly enough, you would cut this bullshit. You cannot manifest what you want. You can't. Until you believe that you can. You just do not believe in yourself. It's like you've given up. And this isn't about confidence, because people can have a lot of confidence and not believe in themselves. Right? If you believe in yourself, you're naturally confident, because you know. Belief is a weird thing where it starts off as like you telling yourself like, yeah, 100%. Okay, I can get, and it gets to the point where you don't believe in something, you know something. That's real confidence. As a society, we have this illusion about confidence. It's just that you're just, you stand tall, and even though you're afraid, you keep going. And, like I'm confident in front of the camera. I'm not perfect, but I'm confident in front of the, no. You have to believe that you can just do whatever you want. You have to believe that you're this person. You have to believe that you're the King of Cups. You have to use all this emotional turmoil, and instead of letting it turn into this, where you're just drowning in this, you have to be able to decide, oh, okay, all these emotions, I decide what these emotions are. So, am I anxious or am I excited? Because they're unbelievably similar. What am I? No, no, no. I decide what this is. I decide that I'm not sleeping, right? I'm not exhausted. I'm not passed out. I'm resting so that I can go out tomorrow and kick ass. You have to, but it's like you have these, people can usually see two sides of a coin, and you can only see two sides of the same side of the coin, right? You can see, oh, I'm terrible or I'm a disaster. It's like, what? But you're always on the bridge looking down. And it's like, dude, you're on a bridge with this magical shit going on everywhere. Look up. That's where everything cool is. Not down there. None of this shit, okay? But you have to be able to swim in those waters up to shore instead of being in this, I'm down here, I'm drowning in this. And again, the swords, this is all mental. It's all mental, but we fuel it with emotions, and that's where it becomes concrete. And you can't have any concrete desires. You can't grasp that concrete desire and put it out there and let it manifest itself into the, because it has to start with your emotional self. I mean, with your mental state. You have to change your mental state. You literally have to crawl yourself out from the water. I can't do that. Yes, you fucking can. Crawl yourself out there and sit on the rock and see how beautiful everything is. You have to, you've just been submerged for too long. And look at this card. So even though she's sitting up, elevated, she's still looking down at this little pool of water. She's not down there either. Right? She's not actually underwater, but it feels like it. Yeah, you just gotta cut it out. And when your mind, and people go like, well, it's not that easy. Trust me, I understand because I used to live here. Like, I used to live here and love it so much, I paid rent for this shit. Right? No, we're not doing this. Okay? So what you do is you have these conversations with your mind. What you need to let go of are all these terrible thoughts. Whenever a terrible thought comes into your mind, you can literally go, hey, mind, where does that thought come from? Well, like when I was in the 3rd grade. Okay, hey, mind, banish that thought entirely in all of its forms. Banish it. And then you literally ask, hey, mind, am I beautiful? And your mind will be like, no, you're a piece of shit. And you can be like, okay, mind, banish that thought and replace it with, I am unbelievably gorgeous. Okay? And then after that, you ask your mind, hey, mind, am I beautiful? And your mind will be like, yeah, I'm gorgeous. Sweet. And you go through a list of everything you hate about yourself. And you can literally just say, like, hey, mind, amass all the thoughts and pull them together, all the thoughts that we hate, and just throw them out there. And then what you'll do is all the good thoughts, then you'll start to notice a change of all the good thoughts. And it's important for you because you're a weirdo here. You have emotional power. So what you'll do is that you will then infuse those thoughts with emotion. So you'll say, hey, mind, let's say, hey, mind, am I smart? No, you're an idiot. Look at all these examples, and the mind will play you. All these examples in HD, Super HD, 4K resolution. All these memories of all the times that you were an idiot. And you just have to go, hey, mind, banish all of those thoughts that we have about that. Just banish them and replace all those thoughts with their positive counterpart. Do that immediately. Okay. Hey, mind, all of those positive thoughts, imbue them with insert positive energy, insert positive emotion, right? Well, I hate going to parties because I'm so anxious and nobody likes me and la 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 la. Hey, mind, banish that thought. Banish the thought, never let it return that we are an anxious person, that nobody likes us, and that we are that we just can't go out, right? Banish that thought. Okay. Replace that thought with, I am an outgoing, I am a charismatic, I am a lively person, I am the life of the party, and everybody loves me. And you're like, oh, but doesn't that make me seem like I'm better than everybody else? At this point, honey, do it. You are unbelievably powerful. You're so powerful that you can make yourself believe that you're not. That's how powerful you are. So, take the time to clear your mind, right? And I don't mean some meditation stuff. I mean real meditation, in that you are meditating on who you are and what you think and why you think what you think, right? Clear your, like, literally clear your mind. Just go through thought by thought, or series of thoughts, based on certain emotions. You can say, like, hey mind, all thoughts that have been charged with emotion, like with anxiety, banish them altogether. Altogether. And you can start going through the list of all the things that you want to be, all the attributes you want to have, and start going through and telling your mind, hey, this is who we are. We are this, 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 this. And we're going to imbue all of those. Pick really high vibrating emotions. So, joy, love, fun, excitement, you know? Don't be, well, I should be really modest about this. You're not going to get anywhere with that. You're too far down to be modest about that. You can adjust that later on if you're being a little too much, which I doubt that's going to happen, because you'll reach a level of discernment once you start doing this. But you don't belong down here. You belong up here, baby. Come on. You have this superpower. I know you don't believe in yourself, but for the love of God, like, I believe in you. Come on. Let's do it. Let's go. This isn't you. Your mind is full. Notice the red hair here and the red here. Your mind is here. This isn't what your mind is supposed to be. Okay? Your mind is not supposed to be underwater. Your mind is supposed to be up here above water. This isn't you. This isn't you. This turmoil, 5 of Wands, this isn't you. You're the 10 of Wands. So let's get to that, okay? I believe in you. You can do this. I know you can do this. If you did do it, post down in the comments and let me know how it went. If you start to notice any changes, let me know how it goes. But I seriously believe in you. You can do this. Come on. Come on. Come on. You wonderful weirdo. Let's do it. Come on.